CADL today. Wow. This reminds me of a slide that I really don't want to be on. I mean, if you look at the daily chart, this thing has given everything back. Big upper shadow, big full red body, opened up at 1270, has given everything nearly back, down to the 200-day moving average. My heart goes out to those that were involved in this. I mean, they came out with good news. Honestly, some of the best news that I've seen and that stocks even come out with. The company announced that their drug achieved primary endpoints in phase 3 prostate cancer trial. So there's only 3 trials. Once you complete the third one, it brings in massive volume. I've been doing this for 10 years, and phase 3 always, usually sustains that momentum too. The phase 1 asks, is it safe? 2, is it effective? 3, is it better than what's out there on the market? And this clinical trial was successful in beating that localized prostate cancer. Massive news. But what do they say? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, let's see who was buying the rumor on this, because nobody was. Probably insiders from 379 the last couple weeks up towards 460. So it did have some accumulation on it, albeit tiny accumulation the last couple days. Isn't this suspect volume? Suspect volume here. Just popping this thing on up a buck. Grinding out for a few days, and then got that news at 7 a.m. this morning. Went on a massive tear. It formed a decent pattern in pre-market, and then ever since the market opened on up, not fun. Not very fun at all. Traders, I just wired $1,000 to CMEG, to their C-Pro. It's like their capital platform. They have hotkeys, the 6-to-1 leverage, so I'll be trading with $6,000 a day. I'm going to try to grow this small account, whether that's through trading or depositing money. We'll see how it goes. So stay tuned if you're not subscribed, because every single day I'm either going to be going live or recapping a video. Or if I don't trade, I may do what I'm doing today and just kind of just do a lesson. So I've been trading for 10 years. I have an algorithm that trades for me. Small account is more for fun, and I want to do that alongside with you guys. So stay tuned. Follow the channel for that. This trend line, once it cracked, and this thing was an elevator down kind of play. On the long side, it was a little grindy. So you can see the grindy action against the trend line. And then up, down, up, down, up, down. These huge red candles, 1-minute candles, are a full point. Once it cracked that trend line, it was fairly bearish. We can extend it to the right, and it was pretty heavy against that upper trend line and just faded and sold on off the remainder of the day. It's been brutal. I feel bad for the newer traders getting involved with this with such a good headline. Great news that should sustain some of this move. I mean, now it's only up barely 2 points off of that news. Stocks always gravitate towards their intrinsic value, as Buffett said. They can also remain irrational longer than we can remain solvent, is how the quote goes. So what does that mean? It means have rules, because a lot of times things just don't make sense. SENSE and CENTS. And if we don't have guardrails on the account for the inevitable that's going to happen, or the black sheep in the market, this can happen. If you're trading on DOS, I have advanced hotkey videos out there that will essentially put your risk reward into the stock once you hit the button. I'm the only one out there that has these hotkeys, and I recommend using them or putting a max loss on the account. But what I always suggest is looking left of the chart. So if we look at their daily chart on CADL, I mean, we don't have a ton of just like pump and dumps. That's the hard thing to grasp with this. I like to look at days that had similar volume, so my face is covering this up right now. But if we look at the volume today, up towards 75, 80 million shares of volume, let's look to a different day with that similar amount of volume. That way we get an idea of the personality of the ticker. And this day it had a lot of volume. It held its move. The next day, huge upper shadow. So there wasn't a ton of information to go off of on this ticker. It was one of those tickers where people are going to learn hard lessons. A lot of people probably blew up their accounts on this name, and that's where risk reward comes into play, guys. You can have a beautiful pattern such as this one this morning, the ascending triangle pattern, where we're creating higher lows, squeezing tighter into this triangle and getting the break, and then it ends up being a fake out breakout and fading, selling off the rest of the day. So the lesson on CADL is always have risk in mind. Know your risk prior to entering the trade. They call it predefining risk. Gamblers, all they focus on is profit professional traders focus on the risk. I think that's really a good lesson moving forward, understanding what CADL did today, because these are make or break trades. I mean, there's very undisciplined traders out there that are going to learn from this, and rather than it crippling you, just consider yourself not failing. Just get back up and go for it again. One trade should never define you. Or you could do the old get even or get even worse and keep stabbing. Terrible idea. I don't recommend that. This is just for educational purposes only. Traders, stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Once that deposit hits, I'm going to be hitting the ground running over at CPro. And I'm looking forward to you guys being a part of the journey. Traders, we'll see you next time.